Hi everybody, welcome to my first ever D&I vlog. I am Rae Evans and I am the marketing and brand consultant here at TP and also D&I Champion. I'm joined by the inspiring women in tech, Rachel Skelton from Covea Digital. Hey Rachel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And today we're going to be talking about the importance of an inclusive and equal workforce to the inspiring leaders of tech. So Rachel, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi everyone, I'm Rachel Skelton. I am the experience and community lead at Covea Insurance. And what that means is I develop and implement strategic people and tech initiatives around digital culture, innovation, transformation, and employee experience. I also used to be an engineer myself, and I'm a public speaker. I create tech content. I have a blog, techieray.com, and I have a YouTube series, Techie Chats, which dives into inspiring guest journeys into tech and why there's more to tech than coding.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on, Rachel. So what we're going to talk about today is actually pretty pertinent because it's Global National Inclusion Week this week. So I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to shine a light on the importance of inclusivity in the workplace. So from my own experience, being an aspiring leader and working in the tech industry, empowerment and representation is really important to me. So I was not shocked when I came across some recent survey conducted by Intel that 56% of UK tech professionals aged between 18 and 35 would hesitate to take a job if they didn't feel represented by any of their own characteristics in the workplace or senior leadership. Are you surprised by that, Rachel?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah. Sadly.
Sadly not. So obviously, it's a really great subject to talk about right now, being, young, being in the industry, looking at our future and progression and what the future holds for us. We're always looking for a workplace where we feel empowered, engaged, motivated, strong. So yeah, it's a great subject. So Rachel, explain what a diverse and inclusive environment in the workplace looks like to you.
For me, a diverse and inclusive environment looks like many different and new perspectives, experiences, backgrounds coming together, and people being empowered and feel safe to share those perspectives, experiences, and learnings, and to be rid of the echo chamber. Inclusion, to feel like they belong, and to be treated fairly. We spend most of our waking time at work. It's important that work feels like a professional home, and being allowed to use all of our special talents in the workplace and to feel like we belong there as well.
No, totally agree. That was a great interpretation of what it is and also what it means to you as well. So how would you say Covea currently embodies an inclusive workplace?
Okay, where to start? We've done a lot of work around diversity and inclusion at Covea. We've been I'm just going to start with pathways, like routes into the company. We've been building our pathways into the company to be more inclusive. And we already have 25 apprenticeships at Covea, and we have about 87 people on apprenticeships. We work closely with schools in the local areas across England. I mean, just the other week, a bunch of the Covea lot went into schools to do like mock interviews with them and help prepare the students. And there's been some incredible stories. And it's also worth saying that we support funding for small to medium enterprises, local ones, to have apprenticeships too, if they can't afford to have an apprenticeship. We're also working on increasing social mobility and how we can create more opportunities from people from areas that might be hard to reach. So we have our grad pathways, but we're also building in pathways for non-grads, maybe self-learners who couldn't go to university, and just different pathways, opposed to your traditional ones, as well as your traditional ones. We've also made commitments to some really important charters and initiatives, such as Tech She Can and Tech Talent Charter and Race at Work Charter. and social mobility index. So these commitments, they look like developing plans to improve inclusion, including adopting inclusive recruitment and promotion processes and practices to support the growth and retention of a diverse workforce. We submit data regularly, like employment diversity data, and we also collaborate with other members to improve these commitments. We've signed up recently to the 10,000 Black Interns Initiative, which is really exciting, and that should be, I think applications might be open now actually for that initiative, and then we've signed up to get so many interns, which is really exciting next year. And we've also got we work with a Leeds University with their Women in Leadership program. Yeah. Some other things that we do at Covea. Recently we had a third-party not-for-profit organisation come in, STEMETS, where we lend out people to go teach and give talks to the STEMETS students, which is really cool. Really enjoyed that. And we also run our events internally for employees. Recently we had our inclusion festival, where we had people from the business in the community come in and show data, express why we're all in this together, and really get an in-depth understanding of why being a diverse and inclusive community is so important. And that was I mean, I'd like to say that our people in our business do have a really good understanding of why it's so important. And we all did a workshop to really measure up where we stood as individuals and how we can be true allies and stand up and make a difference and empower people in the community. And it was a real eye-opener. And we also, sorry, I'm just going to add this in, we also have a really strong community presence within our community groups. So some of our groups include the Gender Diversity Network, Covea Pride Group, Inspiring Colour Group, Covea Green Group, Charity Community, and there's more. And as part of the Inclusion Festival, a light was shone on those groups to encourage more allies to join, and they put on events. So we have quite a bit going on, but obviously no company is perfect, and there's always still work to do, like with our company or within the whole tech industry. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great to hear that your company is supporting the socioeconomic background as well. You know, the system, the system. That's really great to hear, because I think there is a massive digital skills gap at the moment, and it's great that people feel included in tech and invited into tech, depending on no matter where the background is. And that's something really important that I think really needs to be empowered and promoted and encouraged. So that's wonderful to hear. And also as well, for anyone interested in some of the things that Covea are doing right now, we'll put some of the links in to the post as well, which will be great, and get it out to further network. So would you hesitate to take a job if no minority or traditionally marginalised demographics were represented among the company's senior leadership?
Really interesting question. I've never had this question put to me before. I would love to understand what companies have already put in place to be more diverse and inclusive within the whole company. A big red flag would be if they didn't recognise the lack of diversity in the leadership team. So that would be a huge no-no, or lack of diversity in the company. Then you know the company is not going to do too good, and people aren't supported, and it's not attractive at all.
No, it's not desirable, is it? Like looking at a senior leadership and not seeing anybody that you can relate to, or feeling like you're represented within the company. That's definitely something that I look for within a business. For, you know, if obviously being young and in tech, that is something I want a role model to look up to, and role models are super important for aspirational leaders or people looking to get into that sort of area within the future. It really gives you some sort of future to, you know, to sort of vision to sort of go for. And yeah, so I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so just on the role model thing, it's really important that companies do have the role models. We have at Covea, we have like an open door policy for all our like leadership teams, which is great. But we also have mentoring coaching programs, and these programs are just brilliant because that means you can actually tap into their experience, and you can have that one-on-one time with them. And you know, our leaders sign up to the mentoring and coaching. Every level signs up. So I think companies should definitely incorporate mentorship, mentoring and coaching.
Definitely. Oh, I agree. It's desirable as well for anybody who is looking to open graduate or looking to open apprenticeship programs, to have role models, to have mentors, to have sort of people that they can go to if they need to have that transparent relationship with. So yeah, definitely. So just our last question, Rachel. Explain what representation means for you in the tech industry.
Okay. Tech as a whole, tech products, tech audience, it's not just for one pool of people. Tech's for everyone. It's always going to be for everyone. And for everyone to be included and benefit from those products, and for it to, work for everyone, we need to make sure as an industry in tech, we have representation across the board, like to name a few, across different countries, different cultures, genders, race, heritage. There's so many more that we need representation for, to ensure that our customers get the most out of it. A book that I've been recommended is Invisible Women, Exposing Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. You're nodding, so I'm guessing you know this one. Yeah. Well, it talks about how systems are set up which aren't inclusive, such as city transport being made with gender bias towards men, and excluding the data that actually women are more likely to use that transport for chain trips, school runs, trips to shops. The book will tell us more. I haven't read it. I do have it here. I haven't finished reading it, but it is a really good recommendation to read, I've heard.
Definitely.
And yeah, have you read it?
Yes, I've read
Amazing.
it. It was really thought-provoking, and it was a big eye-opener to all these sort of situations, like you say, with that situation that you wouldn't think of, and then it sort of opens your eyes, doesn't it, to loads, and you start to think of scenarios and situations in your own head, and you're like, actually, yeah. It's a great book. I'd recommend it 100%. I got recommended to it by a mentor that I had. So yeah, 100% would recommend.
Oh, brilliant. It's those things that we take for granted, like just catching a bus, or I don't know, a banking system, or things like that. The everyday things that we just don't think about, and then you realize that actually the people who made this was, I don't know, just men, for example, or just like a set of women, and they didn't think of, or it's hard to use that example, but I don't want to single anyone out. But yeah, it is important to kind of open your eyes, because we've been brought up with this stuff, so it's almost like normal, but we've got to challenge it, and we've got to question it, and we've got to be like, actually, no, that's not right, that's not normal. And that is just like one thing of like the gender bias for city transport, but there's so many more things in our day-to-day lives and in different countries and in different cultures that we need to kind of be like, oh, is this right? What can we do better?
There's always room for change, and there's always room for improvement. And I think, although in the tech industry we've come a long way, there is still a lot more to go. Not even in the tech industry, within the world itself. There's a lot going on with the Leeds Digital Festival right now, talking about diversity in tech, diversity in Leeds, and how we can work as a collective, as a community, to support everybody, no matter who you are, where you're from, what sexual orientation, what background, what ethnicity, whatever, to come together and be inclusive and just embody each other's differences, because everybody is unique, and everybody deserves a chance. Doesn't matter where you're from or what you do, you all deserve a chance. So yeah, well, thank you very, very much for joining me. You had some absolutely fantastic answers, and yeah, if anyone else would ever like to come on my D&I vlog, I welcome everybody.